Yeah, but you're also hanging out in like the most promiscuous, most hypergamous setting you could be in. You're in a nightclub in Miami. You're in a nightclub in Miami. Oh, I went to a strip club and there were a bunch of girls in bikinis. Yeah, what did you expect? What did you expect, bro? All right, with that out of the way, got a video about Fresh and Fit here. Something's going on with Fresh and Fit.
All right, so Fresh and Fit just...
This video by Too Lazy to Try It. Fresh and Fit won't stop humiliating themselves. Now, Fresh and Fit podcast, as you guys know, is a kind of red pill podcast that came up during the red pill podcast era when the whatever podcast was blowing up. Andrew Tate was blowing up. Now, they still have a decent following, but they're not doing as well anymore. They've fallen off minorly, but I'm curious to see how they're humiliating themselves, according to this guy.
All right, so Fresh and Fit just continue to embarrass themselves, which is always hilarious. I mean, these two, ironically, are probably some of the funniest people on the internet. Like, if you remember last time I talked about them, Walter had knocked up this girl who originally people were warning him about and said that she was into him for his money and was trying to use him. But he would defend her. You know, he's acting like she was down to earth and just a normal person that was into him for him and didn't care about his money.
I remember that girl was full of shit, I will say. She was absolutely full of shit. But I guess you can say it is ironic that he was giving so much advice on how to handle women, and then he fell victim to the same exact trap he talked about, right?
But then when she got pregnant, him and Myron claimed she was actually an escort that, of course, was just using him for his money, which is embarrassing considering Walter said he was in love with her. He introduced her to his mom. He bought her expensive jewelry. And I think he said he was going to get her an apartment in Miami at one point, too. But still, Walter is in complete denial about it and doesn't understand why people say he pays for girls.
We pay hoes. Show me one time where we pay hoes to smash. For what? Like to smash. I'm like, bro, yo, so I made the vlog, right?
We would have been exposed by now if that's the case.
100%. I made a vlog in Barbados, right? Oh, they're going to say, oh, they're bad, but Fresh paid them. Nigga, where did they pay them? They booked their own flights. Nigga, what the f*** is wrong with y'all niggas, man?
And of course, Walter is going to be all defensive about it, but it's crazy Myron still has the audacity to act like Walter's never been exposed for this. Because the last time it happened, you know, it's happened multiple times, but the last time Myron was the one that exposed him, I mean, he was on his podcast trying to convince people that Walter had been dating an escort.
Sex workers, not escort. Okay. What's this? In this photo that you guys can see here, we can see Jin Chen with meeting up with...
He was dating her. Was he, I don't remember, was he paying her, though? Like, you pay, like, an escort? Or was he, like, in a relationship with an escort that he wasn't paying? I actually don't remember that detail.
With a potential client. We would have been exposed by now.
Walter, yeah, his name is Walter. It's kind of, 1920s name. It's kind of nuts, bro.
Okay, 100%.
Yeah, so Walter's last serious relationship was with a girl they claim is an escort. So by their own definition, Walter's a simp. I mean, there's really no denying it. But of course, whenever people call him that, he'll just say that they're haters that are projecting because, the people around him are never honest with him, as we see with Myron here. So I don't know if Walter will ever have any self-awareness unless they have on more guests like Tommy Soto.
From watching this show, my read of Walter versus Myron is that, I disagree with a lot of what Myron says, but he's generally like a relatively intelligent guy. I mean, he worked for the federal government at one point in time. I think he worked for the DHS. So like you have to be of some intelligence to work there. They do run a successful podcast business, obviously, so there's some success there. But from listening to what they say on the show, Myron seems like leagues of intelligence above. He's fit, right? He's fit. I think Myron is fit. Fit seems leagues of intelligence above Fresh. Fresh is like a low IQ individual from what I can tell from watching this.
Sotomayor, who they had on recently, and he actually kept referring to Walter as a simp, which was hilarious, and Walter kept getting really offended by it.
Myron is relatively intelligent but fatally loyal, so he won't get rid of Walter. Well, Walter hasn't done anything like evil or anything bad to him, so why would he, right? I think loyalty is good, I mean, they built the podcast together, seemingly. Like, Myron must have some reason to believe that it's good to have Walter there. So, I wouldn't say you should just drop him like that, I think that would be...
It started because they're talking about that situation with the female police officer who got attacked recently. And Walter was talking about how he felt bad for her. But, of course, Tommy and Myron, their take on it was, well, women shouldn't be police officers, and she should have known what she was getting herself into. And, like, if this were a man getting attacked, people wouldn't have cared as much. So because Walter just felt bad for her and because of all the other stuff, I'm sure Tommy's aware of the escort and Walter paying for girls and everything.
If it was a male police officer, people wouldn't have felt as bad. I mean, I agree. But obviously, I don't know what that woman looked like. But when you see, like, a 5'4" girl getting the shit beaten out of her, even if she is a cop, like, generally, you just instinctively, some humanity kicks in and you feel bad for them, right? Like, instinctively, when I see a girl getting beat up, I'm like, that's up, you know, maybe more so than a guy. I'll admit, you know, I'm sexist, I guess. This is a double standard. I'm a misandrist. When I see a girl getting beat up, I feel bad for her, right? Instinctively, I think as humans, we do, you know, it's just a thing that happens. Like, because when you imagine the average guy versus the average girl, you imagine someone who's, you know, a guy. Not that hitting a guy isn't wrong, or not that you shouldn't feel bad for them, and also not that, like, you know, one is right versus one is wrong or anything like that. It's just, you know, instinctively, when you see somebody, when you imagine like a 6-foot guy getting the shit beaten out of him, obviously that sucks. But when you see, you know, a 5'4" girl getting the shit beaten out of her, especially by, let's say, a 6-foot guy, you're gonna feel really bad for her, right? You're gonna feel bad, like you just will. Tom's a simp now. Yeah, I'm a simp. Exactly.
Everything. Because of all that, then Tommy started referring to Walter as the simp du jour, which he said means the simp of the day. And Walter started to get offended by it.
Simp du jour.
So Tommy tried to make it seem like it was a compliment. He's like, oh, don't take it as a diss. I mean, I have daughters. We need more guys like you out there. We can't have all alpha males like myself.
No way.
This. Not a knock on you, but it's 3 men at this table, and you did what's actually more normal than what Myron and I did, which was we viewed it from she shouldn't be there. But you know what the first thing you did as the simp du jour? What you did was you said, that's wrong, he hit that woman, which is what most men would do. It is very,
Yeah, it is.
very difficult to say, well, this woman chose that field, she shouldn't be in that field.
I mean, yeah. Is it difficult to say that? I don't know that it's difficult. I mean, I agree. Like a small, like not physically imposing girl should probably not be a cop, but I would say the same about men. It's just, you know, more men are physically imposing than women on average, I guess. But I don't think it's like a hard thing to say. I feel like both can be true at the same time. You can still feel bad for the girl, you know, because instinctively it's your emotional response, and then also say, well, she probably shouldn't have been a cop. But it's like, regardless of like what she signed up for or like what she could have foreseen, like you still feel bad when you see someone getting the beaten out of them.
You can vote, but you got to vote alongside a male. I think that's the way it's got to go.
How do you feel about that simp du jour?
He hates it. He hates it, dude.
It just means the simp of the day.
He's getting low bro. They said, what's up, low bro?
Was trying to make was that, like, in that scenario of her just being in that position, like, she did choose it, but let's be real here. She's naive. She didn't know what was happening.
Wait, I just called this guy dumb. He's right.
She was just there for a movie role, right?
How dare you?
Yes, simp du jour. Now listen, let me tell you something.
This nigga, man.
Why is Myron shocked by that take? Now I'm seeing Myron as more of a psycho and Fresh as more of like a nice dude.
Yo, this nigga, bro.
No, he's a simp du jour, but I appreciate him for being it. Let me tell you why. That's why I don't want him to think that it's a diss. I have daughters. If we don't have men that think like you, where the f would we be with a bunch of men that think like me? We don't have to. So they will say this, but we will have a man like you or me sometimes, or you sometimes.
You can't say me.
No, listen to what I'm saying. That's why I'm bringing things. I'm really good at conversation.
I'm understanding.
They're like bullying him for feeling bad for a girl getting the shit beaten out of her. What? What? Maybe I need more context around this. I don't know, but this seems weird.
No, but I'm saying I bring it down.
It's all of us. It's all of us.
That's why I said it's us at each time. Here's the point. What
So he was starting to get defensive because, I mean, obviously calling somebody a simp on a Red Pill podcast, that's like the ultimate insult. But he's not wrong, you know, and I'm sure Myron probably knows that too. Because if anybody else dates an escort, Myron would be the first person to call him a simp. And I'm sure Walter would too, because he just has no self-awareness. And sadly, he probably actually believed that the escort was in love with him, which is crazy considering his podcast is Red Pill Podcast. I mean, it's like this guy.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, you do get the impression from this kind of show that the people who are on it don't necessarily believe or adhere to the values they ascribe, right? And it's kind of a frustrating thing. I really don't enjoy it. I like when people who say things adhere to the principles that they espouse, especially on, like, the Fresh and Fit podcast, where the entire thing, right, the entire messaging of the show is like, it's not that women suck, but it's like, you know, suck, OnlyFans girls suck, they're dumb, they're nothing, you don't want to be with them, you want to wife up a nice girl, but the only way to do that is to make a bunch of money, right? And then you see him, like, he dating, like, an escort, like, obviously the audience is going to make fun of that, right? Whether or not he paid her, the audience is going to, like, view that very negatively, you know? The lattice usually the biggest hypocrites. Yeah, it depends.
Throughout the years of doing his podcast.
It's almost like it's entertainment or something. Well, it's entertainment, but it's not just entertainment. Like, you can say it's entertainment, but it's entertainment where they're espousing a certain set of values. They're espousing a certain set of values, a certain set of beliefs, like a certain worldview, right? And obviously, the entertainment is tied to that. And so when they contradict that, the audience is going to be like, that's...
Has learned absolutely nothing. And he's pretty lucky that Myron stuck with him through all that, because Myron doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would have the kind of patience for somebody like Walter. You know, because Myron will talk about how important it is for guys to have discipline and work on themselves and go to the gym and stay away from partying
And this guy's a fat idiot. Although I did like his take, but he is fat.
and drugs and alcohol and 304s. But Walter seems to struggle with pretty much all that stuff, and he's more interested in just partying and throwing money at girls and trying to get laid. Like, also, him and Myron started throwing these yacht parties, which I'd imagine is mostly Walter's idea, and I wouldn't be surprised if Myron wants to stop doing it after this most recent one, because this was just embarrassing, and he also got a lot of...
The thing is, these guys also, like, they espouse the idea that, like, all women want or care about is, like, looks or money. They're, like, very shallow people. You have to be, like, a quote-unquote high-value man to get bitches, right? And, like, in reality, that's just not true. But if you do ascribe that kind of belief and you believe that, the kind of women you attract are going to be very low quality, right? Like, if you act like this, you will attract hoes. Like, you will attract... If you believe it, it will become your reality, right? But you can believe that, like, some women are vapid and stupid while others are, like, perfectly fine. And then you'll be around women who are cool. I assume, because I hate women.
for promoting this on Twitter, because first of all, the tickets were $1,000, and he said only $1,000 because the last one was $3,500, which is insane. I don't know who the hell is paying for that. And they're also pretty much paying for the girls to be there because obviously they get in for free and they get free drinks and free food and everything. So the guys are paying $1,000 each to pretty much hang out with a bunch of 304s, as Myron would call them, you know, because these girls were the kind of girls you'd see on the Fresh and Fit podcast that Myron is usually making.
Bro. Yeah, they bully them for content and then they hang out with them right after and them. That's great.
Fun of and bashing and talking about how bad they are for men. So pretty much all the comments on the post where he was promoting this party were calling him out for being a hypocrite. And he was responding to a lot of comments, but he didn't really have anything to say. He's basically just like, I've been talking about this party for months, so you're an idiot. But he's also trying to act like this is something different.
Yeah, but you've been espousing a different set of beliefs for years, right? I'm talking about it for months. Well, what have you been talking about and saying for years, right? Obviously, this can contradict your moral views, your ethical principles.
And then just going to the club because it was also a networking event. But people are like, who are you networking with? A bunch of girls that you're usually telling men to stay away from. And like this comment says, Myron's the one that's always talking about how these girls.
Also, the idea that it's just networking, I mean, at an event like this on a yacht where they got pictures of the girls that are going to be there, like, obviously there's going to be hooking up occurring. Maybe not necessarily with the host, but, you know, they're kind of the big fish in the pond. So, you know, if that is going on, they're going to be the ones that are getting it, I assume.
Girls are opportunists and they're just trying to use you. So why is he setting these people up to be finessed? And Myron's response was, there's going to be normal girls on the yacht, dude. Is every girl in Miami an OF chick? Go outside. Which is just hilarious because, first of all, he acts like every girl in Miami is a 304. I mean, one time he literally said, if a girl posts a picture of herself on a yacht, that means she's a 304. So, of course, people will get this idea from him. And then also, I think it's safe to assume that a Fresh and Fit yacht party isn't going to have the classiest group of girls attending it. You know, I think anybody could have told you that, but...
Yeah, I mean, like, the beliefs that they espouse are that, like, women are idiots, women are vapid, they're shallow, all of them. And, like, those girls do exist, undoubtedly. Like, those people exist. But that's not all women. It's a lot of them in Miami, I'll say that. But not all the girls in Miami. I'd say not even half of them in Miami are like that, you know? I don't think they are. There are plenty of girls that don't care about money, don't even care about looks. I think the average girl doesn't care. Honestly, the thing that I found through my limited experiences with women and through, you know, seeing my friends and people I've known is that the hottest girls that I've met in my life have not been dating quote unquote alpha male 10 out of 10 guys. Okay. They're dating guys who are, you know, not all the time, but oftentimes like fat, balding, right? Have no money and, you know, the broke people who, you know, completely break the barrier of what these guys believe. And it's like, okay, why would women date those men under that paradigm? Well, because the truth is that women don't care as much about looks as men do. I think that women will be willing to tolerate a guy's bad looks if she finds him funny, interesting, or fun. And I don't think men are as tolerant of that, you know? I don't think they are. For me, for example, right? I would not an ugly girl because I think she's really cool. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't. And I don't think most men would. I think that a lot of women, I don't know about most, I don't know about the statistics, but I think a lot of women would a guy who is outside of her type or she wouldn't find conventionally attractive because she thinks he's really funny or impressive or like whatever, even though he doesn't have money, even though he's fat, right? Honestly. Obviously, there are like things that, you know, will generally improve your standards, right? Like better haircut, better facial hair or whatever. Not stuff that I am really focusing on. Better fitness, right? Like, you know, generally being more fit is good, you know, will like help your chances in like the dating market. But I don't think that that's like the end all be all by any means at all.
Myron and Walter were trying to reassure people that's not the case.
Fresh and Myron, you only have holes on the boat, ratchet hose. No, there's not, bro. There's all kinds. Whatever your flavor is, bro.
There's all kinds.
You like the brown, you like the vanilla, you like the
Got a
friggin'
bunch of white girls. What are they talking
butter
about?
pecan, whatever.
How come when they say there's only ratchet hoes, they're like, what do you mean? We have a bunch of white girls. Or do these guys believe that white chicks aren't ratchet? Are you kidding me? Do these guys think that there are no white women that are like, I don't know, is polyamorous the word? Polyamorous? There's another word for it. Not polyamorous. Just girls that sleep around. Do they think there's no white women that sleep around? There are, obviously. Well, it's not all of them, but many of them. Like their response is like, wait, what do you mean? We have white girls. It's like, what? Are all black girls just, is that what they're saying? Promiscuous is the word I'm thinking of. Okay. Yeah. They're under the impression there's no promiscuous white women or less promiscuous white women, I guess, than other races.
What are you talking about?
I was supposed to, bro, they only see clips or something and say, oh, it's only ratchets. No, there's way more than that, bro. Either way, there's variety on the boat.
Bro, people be hating, man.
I know. See, once you've been to one of our yachts, you don't say that shit. So people are like, no.
Anyone that's been on the yacht, you guys already
They know what's up.
It's always the fucking weirdos. Well, I see. Yeah, I saw. Is that the workout? It's like, bro, what the man? Like,
Listen, go to my Twitter. I posted a yacht that we did recently. It was a friggin' movie. And it's just like that, man.
It was a freaking movie. It's just like that, man. What does that even mean? They're like, you only have like gross blown out girls on your thing. Isn't that contradictory to like your beliefs? And they're like, no, I mean, we have some like white ones there. It was like a movie. What does that even mean?
Same thing. Baddies on baddies, liquor,
Yeah.
food, good time.
so I think
And it's so funny that they're all surprised that fans of theirs would think the girls at their party wouldn't be the highest quality because, again, they're the same kind of girls you'd see on their podcast who they're usually trashing and making fun of. So obviously their fans would get this idea from them. And I skimmed through some of the live stream of their party, and for Myron to try to act like...
Oh my God, bruh. No, they live streamed it? No. No. With the septum piercing and the leg tattoo, everything, bro. It is like a movie. You're right. It is. It's like pure cinema. This is a movie everyone wants to be in, bro.
Like the girls there were just normal girls that have normal jobs that he would find respectable is completely ridiculous, you know.
Bro, look at how they're dressed. No. What? Come on, fresh and fit. Come on, bro. You know what's going on. You know the purpose of the party. If you're going to like posture about how you hate promiscuous women so much, right? And then you're going to hang out with a bunch of them, at least don't posture like they're not there at all. At least be honest, like, at least be like, we're just using them, you know? These 304s, these hoes, we're just using them. Just say that. What the, come on, bro. Look at what I'm looking at.
Half the girls there look like they're strippers being paid to be there.
In
we would have been
Barbados.
exposed by now if that's the case.
100%.
But either way, this was not the
Would have been exposed by now. Well, now it is, I'd say.
classiest group of girls, to put it politely, even by fresh and fit standards. You know, these girls, there's a lot of twerking and a lot of really
Come on.
bad tattoos and
Oh, we got a few girls in dresses. I guess they're high class.
plastic surgery.
High class.
So people are roasting him in the comments. Like somebody said, you want me to pay
What's up,
you
Brandon?
to hang out with strippers and OF girls? And also, so you want me to drop a stack
That's a fairy. That's a fairy. Bro.
to hang out with girls you complain about and warn men to stay away from? This makes sense.
Wait, hold on, I gotta rewind. I like the guy down there. Master number 9, whoever thought this was a good idea needs to be fired. In his profile picture is that picture of like, is that Michael's son from GTA? like putting up his finger with like his sister in the background. That guy's cool.
Back to hang out with girls you complain about and warn men to stay away from. This makes sense. And what makes this even funnier is the day after Myron threw the yacht party, you know, where he charged guys $1,000 so strippers and OF girls could show up and drink and eat for free. He then went on Twitter and had the audacity to complain about a nightclub. He said, the first time I've been to a nightclub in almost...
Bro, you ran one on the water. You created a nightclub on the water and had them all there. What are you talking about?
It's incredible to watch the talentless women cut the line while men wait and pay thousands of dollars for a section. Then said useless woman comes in the section and drinks the liquor that men paid so much for. It's truly a sight to see. So, of course, people...
Yeah, but you're also hanging out in like the most promiscuous, most hypergamous setting you could be in. You're in a nightclub in Miami. You're in a nightclub in Miami. Oh, I went to a strip club and there were a bunch of girls in bikinis. Yeah, what did you expect? What did you expect, bro?
People in the comments were just roasting him, which, how could he not
They pick up women from sugar baby websites. I don't know if that's true, but that would not be surprising.
expect? I mean, he posted this right after his yacht party. So somebody said, dude, you just threw a yacht party where only men had to pay to enter. You're part of the problem. And of course, Myron's like, you're an idiot. Men from all over the world with high net worth were able to meet and network. The women are a bonus. Yeah, so it's hilarious that he's trying to say that this is a high net worth networking event. I mean, this was like a networking event at a trashy strip club, pretty much. But Myron also talked about how the difference is his event brought together like-minded men that are red pill aware, but clubs just bring in people that want to simp. Even though, again, these red pill aware men are paying for a bunch of OF models and strippers to hang out with them. So I don't know how you could say it's any different from going to a club.
It's not. It's the exact same thing. This looks like a nightclub. If you didn't know it was on a boat, you would think it's a nightclub.
Other than it also being a networking event, I guess. But after all the back...
What does networking even mean? What networking are Fresh and Fit doing? They're meeting girls to bring on their podcast, and then some of them they're probably going to bang. That's what networking is for them. It's meeting dumb girls that they can then have on their podcast and be like, what did you eat for breakfast this morning? Don't remember? You're dumb. All women are dumb. Men and women are not equal. Like, yeah, everybody knows men and women are not equal. There's like 5 people saying that men and women are equal, okay? Everyone knows that a man and a woman is on average not the same thing, okay? Men are taller than women. Wow, genius take. I am shocked by that. Revolutionary. No one said that ever.
Clash Myron got from this. I'd imagine they're probably done with it. I mean, also, he says he never goes to clubs. It sounds like he hates it. He also says he never drinks at all. Like, on the yacht party, he's just pounding Red Bull the whole time. And he looked like he was
That is based.
just wired.
Based.
So I can't imagine he's really dying to do this again. But Walter, I'm sure, is. Let me know what you guys think, though. And then
Bro is wearing sunglasses at night.
and make sure you go check out my Patreon account. I have a ton of extra content on there, over 90 videos at this point, I'd say. And I talk a lot about Kill Tony. There's a lot of drama going on with that show that's really interesting and entertaining to keep up with. And also I talked about...
All right, yeah. Pretty good video from Too Lazy to Try. Check it out. I watch his videos quite a bit. They're pretty good, but yeah, damn. Classic Fresh and Fit moment. I will say, Fresh and Fit, like, once in a while, they'll have a good take. They will. Like, I mean, they defended Destiny from being deplatformed / banned when that was in the talks, right? I appreciated that. But then again, years ago, I think 1 or 2 years ago, they used to file false DMCA strikes on videos that were critical of them. And then I think Tim Pool called them out for it, and they didn't really have a good explanation. So, you know, from my perspective, once in a while they have a good take, but sometimes when it's not convenient for them to, they will fold on their principles.